Ladies and gentlemen, disregard all of your preconceived notions about Claressa Shields' picture-perfect engagement. Beneath the happy pictures and sparkling ring, there is a tidal wave of treachery, covert transactions, and receipts so disorganized that they may wipe out a whole career. And it was Papoose who was in possession of the receipts. And he's not holding back this time. Papoose maintained a spotless image for years by playing the devoted, understated role in the background. However, rumors circulating inside the business indicate that the rapper has finally had enough of being depicted as the unimportant ex. According to reports, he is now preparing to reveal everything, about Claressa and her adored fiancé. We're discussing dubious late-night rendezvous, hush-hush payments, and amorous messages that somehow went awry. Inbox. According to Papoose, this is more than simply a case of romance gone wrong. This is about a planned move to remove him from the industry while concealing the most sinister truths of a fiancé. Now, the only thing to wonder is when Papoose will Claressa's dominion last when she finally pulls the trigger? Or are we going to witness a knockout that is significantly worse than anything she has ever witnessed in a ring? Let's take off the gloves, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a friendly sparring battle either. In terms of public perception, it's a complete deconstruction. Papoose remained silent for months, allowing rumors to circulate and gossip blogs to spin their own tales about Claressa Shields. However, he is now turning the tables and destroying the meticulously carefully chosen photos and removing receipts. That, if authentic, might completely ruin Claressa's story of the golden marriage. The silent setup, as insiders refer to it, is where it all begins. One industry insider, whom we'll call Tama, is a seasoned public relations assistant who says she has experience working with both. The hostility between Papoose and Claressa's fiancé did not start after their breakup. Oh no. According to Tamika, this drama was developing long before the general public realized that there was a problem in paradise. He was in the background all the while. Tamika purportedly stated to an unnamed blogger. Meetings would inadvertently be rescheduled when Pap was expected to be there, but they gave him the impression that he was welcome. Without him, calls would be made. It was like witnessing the gradual erasure of someone. And that eraser wasn't an accident, if you accept Papoose's version of events. He asserts that Claressa's fiancé had been quietly attempting to usurp Pap's years-long network. Media producers, music contacts, and promoters all claim to be supporting Claressa's brand. This is where it goes from being trivial to being blatantly evil. Leaked screenshots circulating in private group chats claim that Claressa's fiancé texted a business associate to ensure that Pap's name was removed off guest lists. "We can't build her empire if he's always in the picture," the same texts continue. With cryptic Instagram messages such, "I focus on winning, not whining, and you can't block blessings meant for me," Claressa has publicly dismissed the claims. However, things are becoming worse behind the scenes. Papoose's team maintains that they have evidence of intentional attempts to keep him out of events, interviews, and gigs, including email chains, call logs, and even an unintentional voice memo. One alleged example, an Atlanta charity boxing show. Papoose reports that after being invited months in advance, his spot was inexplicably transferred to, you guessed it, Claressa's fiancé. Not the fiancé, Claressa. When asked, the organizers allegedly stated the worst thing is that Papoose claims he was unaware of the scheduling change until pictures from the event began to surface online. They were informed, "Pap's not available, but we've got someone better." Additionally, Claressa's fiancé is prominently seen in those pictures, smoozing. They were names Pap had known for more than 10 years. You may be wondering why Papoose didn't speak up sooner. Another unnamed source claims that he tried, but whenever he voiced his opinions in private, they were always framed as jealousy or insecurity. He was played by them. Similar to the resentful ex before he was even the ex. According to the insider, the narrative was already against him by the time the split became public. This is where things become truly complicated, though, because it goes beyond bruised sentiments or social rejection. Claressa's fiancé may have gone too far in what might be regarded as career sabotage if the accusations are accurate. Attorneys can help with that. According to reports, Papoose's legal team has been going over correspondence and documents to ascertain whether they have the right to file a lawsuit for tortious interference, which is a fancy word for willfully harming someone's professional connections. Even if those cases are infamously difficult to win, Claressa's team may suffer a PR nightmare simply by filing. And, oh, this is going viral on the internet. Hashtags are a battleground on Twitter. From rings to receipts, the ruthlessly trivial hashtags #PapScience and #KnockoutDrama. The purported text messages are being acted out by TikTok producers, complete with dramatic background music and headlines like "When your girl's man steals your career." However, other fans are dubious, pointing out that, even in the absence of alleged sabotage, Papoose's career hasn't exactly been booming in recent years. One remark with more than even those critics acknowledge that, if the receipts are real, Claressa and her fiancé are in trouble, not just trouble. The article with 5,000 likes states, "He's acting like he was headlining Madison Square Garden every weekend. Maybe he just fell off." Adding fuel to the fire, there are rumors that Papoose is keeping the most damaging details for maximum impact and that Claressa's fiancé has his own secrets. It's turmoil, but the kind of brand-destroying scandal that sponsors flee faster than a poor investment. According to Papoose camp, these bombshells include dubious financial transactions, a side connection that coincides with his engagement, and one incident that may even have legal ramifications. This isn't about petty revenge, he says. It has to do with self-defense. Yes, he dropped bars about it, Pap stated in a recent freestyle, adding, "I stayed silent while you drew up your plot. It's my time now. Let's check out your work. I have receipts in my pocket, holding the truth. It's time to prove to the world that you are a fake guy." That video alone had over 3 million views in a single day. However, this is only the beginning. The actual battle, and according to reports, the most juicy revelations are being held back for a big sit-down interview that Papoose is allegedly negotiating with a major gossip channel. If that happens, Claressa herself may have to face some awkward questions about what she knew and when she knew it. People, this isn't just about a strained relationship at the end of the day. It's about power, manipulation, and a struggle for industry supremacy, and as anyone who watches the game knows, when you combine public betrayal with personal betrayal, unfortunately, the consequences are always disastrous, and if the rumors of round 2 are accurate, the next chapter of this story will make this seem like a piece of cake. This is when the plot takes a dramatic turn akin to that of a soap opera. Just as everyone was expecting Papoose's sit-down interview to be the big event, another leak appeared online, and this time it wasn't from his camp. Instead, it came via an anonymous Dropbox link that was uploaded at 2:00 a.m. on a dubious rumor forum, named simply for Pap. Shortly after, images and videos from the folder began to spread like wildfire, purportedly showing private conversations between Claressa's fiancé and other business contacts, some of which depicted him as a man working against Papoose as well as against a number of other people in the same entertainment and sports circles. One very damaging screenshot revealed an email exchange with a Miami promoter in which Claressa's fiancé wrote, "Pap's reputation is done. I promise you don't want to associate him with your brand. I can connect you with other suitable names for the occasion." Better names, don't they? Overnight, that small statement went popular as a meme, with people on Twitter sharing pictures with better titles captioned, of odd items, a rusty bicycle, a parking ticket, and a piece of bread. Deeper within the leak, however, lurked something much more hazardous. A sponsorship reallocation agreement paper. As stated in the self-proclaimed paper, the document detailed how several endorsement arrangements that were first offered with Papoose in mind were switched to Claressa and her fiancé's collaborative branding initiatives, according to Reddit experts. The People was unconcerned about whether it was a superb fake or real. The story was writing itself. Papoose, meantime, was unusually silent about the leak. The absence of any tweets, mysterious Instagram stories, or even a freestyle verse further strengthened the internet's conviction that the receipts were authentic. Because silence frequently speaks louder than words in scandals of this nature. The phone call then arrived. On TikTok, an audio tape purportedly taken during a heated argument between Clarissa's fiancé and an unidentified accomplice was discovered. The voice that 99% of internet detectives use the fiancé can be heard stating, "Papoose, you have to realize that this is our time. I'll ruin him if he gets in the way. Whatever it takes, I don't care." From YouTube to every gossip blog. Here, that one sentence went viral. In hashtags like #I'llRuinHim and #ThisTime trended on many platforms in just 2 days. Claressa Shields is focused solely on her upcoming fights and brand partnerships. She has no involvement in any alleged private affairs, was the carefully written statement sent by Clarissa's camp in an attempt to defend herself. Issues pertaining to other people. In other words, we won't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Playing neutral in a conflict, however, has the drawback because both sides begin to suspect that you are secretly working against them. Sources near Papoose claims that whatever little faith he still had in Claressa has now vanished. He believes her silence to be complicity. This is where it becomes even more juicy. According to an unverified allegation, Papoose has already arranged his own collection of leaks, including direct conversations exchanged between Clarissa's fiancé and a lady who is only identified as a well-known figure in the sports industry. These direct messages allegedly allude to a personal connection that dubiously intersects with his engagement to Claressa. Consider the headlines, assuming it's accurate. There is a love triangle involving the people's champion. It's the best script you could write. Fans are going into full detective mode in the meanwhile. Old press images are being dissected in Twitter discussions with over 40,000 likes. At public gatherings, Claressa's fiancé and mystery women exchange knowing glances. Side-by-side comparisons of attire, captions, and oddly timed travel are common on TikTok. Here's the worst part, though. Papoose doesn't appear to be concerned by any of this conjecture. In reality, Pap is biding his time because he knows his evidence isn't simply petty drama, according to a buddy of a friend who revealed information to a hip-hop podcast. There can be repercussions for company. Additionally, there are business repercussions in this sector. More difficult than any diss song. Sponsors disappear. Contracts are updated. The invitations come to an end. Your A-list contacts abruptly quit picking up the phone. According to insiders, Papoose has a straightforward approach. For the time being, let the public make fun of Clarissa's fiancé, but when he presents his own evidence, make sure it's something that sponsors won't be able to overlook. In this manner, the financial consequences will be indisputable, regardless of Clarissa's efforts to hide them. However, bringing Clarissa's fiancé down too much poses a risk. Might harm Claressa herself as well. Even Pat must acknowledge that. Ruining her public image might cause a huge response from her devoted fan following, even though he may no longer give a damn about her private life. Some, however, think that's precisely what he desires. A total takedown of survivors. The final round, which is part 3 of the drama, may be the most cruel yet if that is the plan. Because it's already being rumored that Papoose has landed a special interview on a popular YouTube gossip channel. The type of interview in which they pull out the laptop, go through previously unseen data in real time, and watch the internet collapse. Clarissa's fiancé won't be the only one perspiring if that occurs. Because in conflicts such as these, the blast radius is never limited to a single target. As soon as rumors of that exclusive interview began to circulate, the countdown to the alleged final round began. Vibe insiders are revealed by gossip. The filming location has already been secured, according to our own network, which has ears everywhere. Multiple camera angles, a private studio, and a non-disclosure agreement for all participants. Additionally, one source claims that Papoose intends to bring 2 laptops with him, one for the evidence and one in case there are any unforeseen technological issues. The problem is that no one trusts Wi-Fi in a conflict like this. The interviews. Leaked list of topics reads like the storyline of a Netflix documentary full with scandals. First, the purportedly missing opportunities with phone records, calendar screenshots, and emails demonstrating how Papoose was routinely excluded from gatherings and endorsements by Claressa's fiancé. Pap will purportedly provide evidence of backdoor sponsorship agreements and secret payments connected to Claressa's brand connections in the second segment, The Side Hustles. And everyone is already preparing for the third segment, which is about the other relationship. Yes, exactly. The conclusion is anticipated to include the rumor DMs between Claressa's fiancé and the anonymous sports world guy. If there is not only will it be nasty, but it will be as incriminating as the murmurs indicate. It will be nuclear. Furthermore, according to our source, Pap isn't merely dumping receipts. He is providing timetables, precise dates, and locations, and he is connecting them with Claressa's appearances in public. The kind of information that cannot be concealed by evasive denials. We're talking about a level of exposure that might simultaneously and permanently damage two reputations if those dots line up on screen. Now, Claressa isn't only watching events unfold from a corner. Another insider claims that her team is frantically trying to influence the story in advance. They are allegedly thinking of releasing their own counterstory via a supportive media outfit prior to Pap's interview. Something that portrays him as resentful, cunning, and in need of attention. This is where it becomes complex, though. Right now, the public has little patience for preventative damage management. The internet will sense the panic if Claressa's version is released first. Furthermore, panic is never a good strategy in the arena of public opinion. Claressa's fiancé, meantime, has completely lost his mind. No posts on social media, no interviews, no sightings in public. Absence isn't helping him, though. In fact, TikTok investigators make more conjectures regarding his whereabouts and what he is concealing the longer he remains silent. A post that went viral even made the joke, "This man is in witness protection, and Papoose is the witness." Brutal. However, behind the scenes, people are anxious. Not only in Claressa's support system, but also in the larger network of business people who have collaborated with her fiancé. Considering that Pap's side, if there is evidence of dubious activities by sponsors, businesses, or event planners, the consequences will not end with a single connection. Contract terminations, partnership dissolutions, and even legal audits may occur. The nuclear wild card is another. Heat wave. Do you recall that name from a saga's earlier chapters? The resentful industry leader who is said to have a grudge against everyone. According to insiders, he has been observing from the sidelines and is currently debating whether to get engaged. This could go beyond Pap versus Claressa's fiancé and turn into a full-scale industry collapse if Heatwave divulges what he knows. Let's not act like Papoose is a hero in this instance. As already noted by critics, this scorched earth tactic could backfire. He runs the risk of coming out as spiteful rather than justified by aiming for maximum exposure. However, some contend that allowing someone to remove you without a battle is career suicide in a game where your name is important. Additionally, in that reasoning, maybe just using a flamethrower to put out a fire. This is what cannot be disputed. It's quite high stakes. Only a few months remain until Claressa's next battle. Sponsors will be observing. There will be fans present. And from now until that interview, every action she or her fiancé takes could make the difference. The audience is drooling for the knockout blow, the clock is running out, and the revenues are piled high. However, the true query is, when will Pap lands it? Will it hit his target exactly, or will the shrapnel hit other targets as well? Because there are no officials or ring bells to break up the combat in this arena. And the only things that will remain after the lights go out are the headlines and the